People who had a near-death experience, what did you see? My near-death experience happened 3 years ago when I was 25, and it's still the most vivid, haunting thing I've ever gone through. I, 28F now, was on a solo road trip along the Pacific Coast Highway, something I dreamed of doing since I was a kid. I'd always been drawn to the ocean, the way it feels infinite and wild. One evening, I pulled over at a scenic lookout in Big Sur to watch the sunset. The cliffs there are steep, dropping straight into the sea, and I got too close to the edge, trying to get a photo. The ground was looser than I realized, and before I knew it, the gravel gave way. I fell about 20 feet, hitting a rocky outcrop before plunging into the water. The impact knocked the wind out of me, and the cold of the Pacific was like a punch to the chest. I was disoriented, gasping, and the current was stronger than I expected, pulling me under. I remember thrashing, trying to swim, but my leg was caught on something, maybe kelp or a rock. I couldn't break free. My lungs burned, and panic set in as I realized I might not make it. Then, everything slowed down, like time itself was stretching. I stopped fighting, not out of choice but because my body was giving up. That's when I saw it. It wasn't a tunnel of light or angels or anything like you'd expect from movies. It was more like a feeling that became a vision. I was surrounded by this deep, endless blue, not just water, but something warmer, like being cradled in the heart of the universe. I saw flashes of my life, but not in a linear way. It was my mom teaching me to ride a bike, laughing as I wobbled, my brother and I building a fort out of couch cushions, the smell of my grandma's kitchen during Christmas. But there were also moments I didn't recognize, like a future I hadn't lived yet, me, older, holding a child's hand on a beach, or sitting in a garden with someone I loved but couldn't name. It felt so real, like I was living it all at once. There was this overwhelming sense of peace, like I was part of something bigger, and a voice, not audible, but in my head, said, "It's not time." Not a command, just a gentle fact. Then, pain slammed back into me. A surfer had seen me fall and jumped in to pull me out. He'd cut my leg free and dragged me to shore, where paramedics were already waiting. I was hypothermic, had a fractured ankle, and needed stitches for a gash on my head, but I was alive. In the hospital, I couldn't stop shaking, not from the cold, but from what I'd seen. It felt too real to be a hallucination, but I didn't know how to process it. I told my dad, who's a skeptic, and he said it was just my brain firing off as I lost oxygen. Maybe he's right, but it changed me in ways I can't explain. Before that day, I was aimless, working a dead-end retail job, partying too much, avoiding anything that felt like growing up. I saw life as something to get through, not cherish. After, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd been given a second chance. I started valuing the small things, calling my mom just to chat, savoring a quiet morning coffee, noticing the way light hits the leaves. I also became terrified of wasting time. The vision of that future, those moments I hadn't lived yet, felt like a promise, but only if I chose to show up for my life. Update, 3 years later, I'm in a different place now, literally and figuratively. I moved to a coastal town, got a job as a marine conservationist, and spend my days working to protect the ocean that almost took me. It feels right, like I'm honoring what happened. I'm also in therapy, which has helped me unpack the experience. I don't know if what I saw was real or my mind's way of coping, but I've stopped needing to prove it. It gave me purpose, and that's enough. I'm dating someone kind, and we've talked about that garden I saw, maybe we'll build it one day. I still get flashes of that peace sometimes, especially when I'm by the water at dusk. It reminds me to keep living, not just surviving. To anyone who's had an NDE, you don't have to have all the answers. Just let it guide you.